Welcome to the show, guys. Sorry, you guys won't be able to see me on this episode. Technical difficulties with the camera, but it's a podcast anyway. It's all about the audio. So we'll start this episode off like we have many others here recently with a little over-the-air frequency tune with the sound bowl. So, here we are. Another beautiful day, another moment in the here and the now. I'm always grateful to be here with you guys who listen in. This is episode number 26 of Higher Frequencies. The name is called The Game. Speak Life. I have a previous episode called Change the Game. One called Exit the Matrix, because an essence of it all. Reality is quantum manipulative plasma of the mind to reality that starts at the very beginning with your thoughts. So this goes so many ways to see where this knowledge has come about in ancient spiritual teachings, even to the modern day. Quantum physics is all tying the ancient teachings of oneness, correlates with quantum mechanics and quantum physics and all these current scientific discoveries where we can't seem to find the end of space. As far as we see, there's something to observe. And then as we've narrowed down to see the smallest thing ever, it's infinitely inwards. and there is no end to the microscopic zooming in to find the very base material energy of creation is infinitely inwards and infinitely outwards throughout space. Because in essence, the here and now is the materia, the 0 point. So obviously you can look as far in and out and keep finding things because you are the master creator from this 0 point that we call the here and the now, reality. Well, reality is memory, the fleeting moment of thoughts and memories of who you are and what's been before you. So then what is reality but a memory? Well, I guess reality is only the here and now. And then what is real is merely a perception. But what is real is more than what you can see with your physical eyes. For the science discovery of waves that you can't see go from the very low radio waves, microwaves that you can't see, to the high vibrating gamma rays that you can't see. For the spectrum of the rainbow that we visually perceive is very small portion of frequencies we know how to read and understand in today's world with today's technology. So what is reality? We think reality is this dense perception we have where the microphone sits in front of me but my hand won't pass through it, or the desk in front of me that I can't pass through. But science has discovered that everything is energy and everything is vibrating constantly in motion. So these are merely a visual perception of a slow vibrating frequency that's vibrating so slow that it looks like it's physical. But it's not. You're not physical. You are a lot of energy vibrating together, very dense, highly complicated vessel mechanism that contains the source of all creation. While your heartbeat could, the energy your body produces could power a small city. This is why the idea that you are God has an essence to it that is true. For you are the universe experiencing itself. The universe doesn't have physical eyeballs to perceive this dense reality, but all the energy that makes up the universe is contained inside of you, and you contain the visual spectrums that you call physical eyeballs to see this beautiful plasma of the eternal now, of the moment, which we measure with memory and tie it into the database of the brain or into consciousness or the consciousness grid. You are senders and receivers, but you get to pick what you send and receive. But without knowing that you are sender and receivers, well, you've experienced the life that you've known up to now, when you've sent and received a cause and effect from everything through that whole process of the here and now, where you're listening to me, which is actually you trying to get you to remember that you are the master of this material realm. For the watcher behind your eyes is the source God, whatever you would like to call it. It perceives through your eyes. Anything that you attune your frequency is anchored down to this plane, and it manipulates the quantum plasma around you that you call the reality of life, and its many dual perceptions that we experience in this dense dimension. So it's kind of like a game. You're an avatar of God, the source. You're an avatar, a logos. You are in the image of. You are the Alpha and the Omega. You are the beginning and the end, because you are tuned in to this eternal now in a physical vessel with all the powers of creation of the universe wrapped up inside of you, all the knowledge and all the power of manifestation into the physical and creating universes and multiplications of yourself. All of this is inside of you. You're constantly speaking life with the thoughts in your mind, let alone with the words that come from your mouth, the spells, or the actions that you take, how you treat one another, how you treat yourself, and then how you treat the reflection of yourself. This is how you speak life in the game. This game is Speak Life, the game of Speak Life, the game of remember that you speak life with your thoughts, because you are masters of the material realm. Even the Kabbalah, the mystic parts of the Kabbalah basically teaches that you are an anchor of frequencies. And anything from who you are in this material realm all the way up to the highest that we would call Source, God, the one source frequency, the one with many names, the unnameable one, in the highest vibration at the beginning of nothingness of creation. It's represented by the darkness you see when you look into the sky, for this is where the light comes from. This essence, this source, this frequency is everything that you see and everything that you are. There is nothing outside of it. That's why there's nothing outside of you, because you are it. Funny thing about all the stories and prophecies that's come throughout history, the Bible with the second coming of Christ, the Mayan predictions of the Golden Age, the Hopi predictions of the rainbow warriors that would come in a time when the world was being ravaged and destroyed, and they would come and save Mother Nature. Well, the prophecy is of the here and the now, and you are the ones you've been waiting for. You here listening to me right now, to try and turn on your mind to see the reality of things, to remember who you are, why you, the seeker of inner knowledge, where you are Christ. You are the one that's going to usher in the golden age. You are the rainbow warrior. You're every prophecy that's ever been spoken into existence, and you're here right now for a reason to be who you truly are inside. The one you truly are inside knows that this is a game. of remembrance. Because everything you do speaks life into existence. As above and so below. The duality is very vast from the beginning point, the Big Bang, where everything come together back to one and re-exploded into existence again. Well, that's the snake eating its tail. All of the universe come back into the one because we all come from that one source, the Big Bang. 13 point something billion years ago, and all this dual expressions that we can see with a telescope, and then we see in every fleeting moment of the here and now, and its expression through people and objects and nature and the beautiful space and beautiful flowers. While these are just trillions upon trillions of expressions of the beginning, the source, that frequency of all creation. And knowing and remembering that you are that. Well, that was the whole essence of the game. All of history, all of everything that you've ever read about, or thought about, or ever experienced that you remember from this lifetime, or the ones before. They've all been so that you could be here right now and remember that you are it. You are the one. But guess what? Well, that's just the beginning. All of history up until the now moment, to where you remember and realize exactly who and what you are and what you're capable of. It's just the beginning. Well, that is the resurrection. That is the rapture. That is every higher level of anything you have ever heard related to any religious thing, God, anything you could think of, the most highest vibration. While remembering and understanding that you are that is just that, the beginning. Because you have this whole duality reality as your playground. And if you are that uncompassionate love frequency that duplicate itself to experience all of the cosmos and all life, well, you done all of that so you could create life, so you could speak life. You played the game to remember how to speak life, so that you could speak life for another 13 point something billion years of magnificent experience and expression beyond the current mind frame could even imagine. For as in this duality we are one, and then the consciousness of the duality of the people here on this rock that we call Earth is like a living organism. And as you discover yourself, it ripples through the other expressions of you. And once that frequency gets higher and higher, it manipulates the hologram. Things start to change. Some things that can't even be explained. While the Mandela effect is just here so that I could use it as a reference, so you could understand that you are the Alpha and the Omega. You change the past and the future in the here and now moment. You done something so wonderful at some point within the last 10 years that Nelson Mandela, who was a martyr, who died in prison, didn't happen. Why, he's president of the country. Because you manipulate the past and the future right now, for time is in a circle, it's all existing at the same time. And you tune your frequency to the reality that you choose, because you are the one. If you are the one source frequency and all reality is frequency, so that means that you can tune into anything that you would like. But right now, you like this dual experience of remembering with this conscious game in this material dense realm with all the expressions of yourself, so that you can remember, and then you can shine your light and see the effect of just your light on everyone else's. You get to express that unconditional love in so many different ways that you can even fathom in your mind. You can do it just with the words you say, just by the frequency you carry inside of your body, with your thoughts, with your mind frame. You can share that by art or words, poetry, beautiful music. For reality is nearly just a song of beautiful frequencies and colors. Well, that is what we are, refracted into another spectrum, a fractal pattern from the very beginning. So the game is just what we call reality. I like to call it a game because you're not who you think you are. You know, you're not your body and your name. That's not you. I'm not Nicholas. I am love light. And that love light is not this flesh and blood, dense vessel you see in front of you, or you hear speaking to you. That's not who I am. That's just my avatar in this experience of life, the game, the reality, the school of learning thyself. The funnest part about the game Because the levels, as you rise higher in levels, they become easier and prettier, more harmonious. For remembering who you are is tuning the strings on a guitar. You're changing your vibration and it resonates with everything around you. Makes the song just a little more beautiful each time you remember who you are and your dual expressions all across this vast consciousness duality that we call reality, the game. So remembering the essence, the whole paradox. So this is the whole thing that quantum physics has found out. It's the same thing you'll find as you fall down the spiritual rabbit hole, or if you fall down the quantum physics rabbit hole, you hit the same paradox every time. Science and spirituality. The oneness paradox. For if everything is you, if you are the one and everything is your expression, it's hard to wrap your mind around. It's like, how could I be all this? There's probably many things that you perceive that you don't want to be. But even these things you see that you don't want to be are still connected to you. And your ultimate learning experience here. For as you change your frequency, you maintain your thought presence. You try to maintain the vessel of who you are and tune in to the knowledge and the power that comes from inside of you. Well, that is the answer to all the world's problems that you see in your duality. That's the revolution. That's the salvation. That's how you find true freedom. So quantum physics hits the same paradox. The slit experiment. You could take a piece of cardboard and cut a slit in it, or a piece of metal, and you could shoot marbles through it. And only the marbles that go through the slit, they hit the back wall and they make the same image of the line. If you put it in water and you send a water wave at it, once it goes through the slit, it hits the same point in the back. 1 and 1 works every time with the wave or the marble. Well, if you put 2 slits in it and you shoot marbles at it, you end up with 2 lines on the back wall. If you shoot a water wave at it, the one water wave goes through the 2 slits and becomes 2 waves, and the waves interfere with one another, and it creates a pattern of multiple points where it hits on the wall behind, from different concentrations from the center line all the way out, kind of like a rainbow spectrum. Well, They took the smallest thing that you can find in reality, a proton. Very tiny molecule. So you shoot the proton through the singularity, the one source, the one slit. And it's one slit behind it. Just one. Looks identical. Just like a marble. Well, if you put two slits and you shoot the proton through it, you get the interference pattern on the wall like you would have with a water wave. And so they thought maybe the protons was bouncing off one another after they went through the two slits. So they shot one proton at a time, and they end up with the same slit, the same results as the water wave, the interference pattern. It landed multiple places across the back wall. One proton going through two slits had a spectrum pattern of multiple landing places on the wall behind. So they put a camera to see it right before it goes through the slit. Because the question is, does it go through the left slit? Did it go through the right slit? Did it go through both of them? Did it go through none of them? Well, all those answers are true. It did all those at the same time. The one single proton. So they put a camera up and shot one proton at a time to see what the proton did. If it split or went through both or what was going on. Well, when they done this, it made two splits on the wall, like a marble, like a physical object, because it was viewed. And so reality is really not there if you're not viewing it. If the tree falls in the wood, and then does it make a sound? If a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? Well, the answer to that question, there is no tree until someone perceives the tree. And so, what they've come to figure out is the one proton, unobserved, has beyond 3,000 possibilities at one time. You can take a picture of them. But it's just clusters of protons, but it's just one proton in multiple places. You can't take one away because it's just one. You can't weigh it because it's just one. So that's the same paradox proven with science. That we are all one. We all come from one frequency through a prism with trillions upon trillions of refractions of that frequency or light all throughout the cosmos on its journey away on this circle of going away and coming closer to remembering, and then all folding into itself over this long billions upon billions of years journeys of being all one and exploding into all the beauty of existence and multiple experiences of duality to circle all back to itself, just to do it all over again. For if you had the technology to look way out in space as far as they perceive, there's something to view. Well, quantum mechanics proves that as far as you can view, there will be something to observe, because you are creating by viewing. By being, you are creating. By being in existence, being here right now is effect on everything you see around you just by being. Then thoughts and action and words, well, that is the Trinity manipulation of the quantum hologram. It affects the quantum plasma. It affects the chemicals in your body, all the way down to how your cells split in half and what they're open to receive when they divide. All comes from your thought. It all starts there. So apparently all existence had to be created by a thought of wanting to exist and experience that frequency that we are. That is an unconditional love. A compassionate, unconditional love that doesn't even come close to explain the frequency. It's something that can only be experienced. There are many things that brings you close to feeling and understanding that frequency. One of my favorite references is a mother when she gives birth. For a woman is magical. She carries the seed of creation of life inside of herself in this physical manifest of reality. And after 9 months, she births that beautiful bridge and anchor of that one source frequency into the manifest of the physical form of a human body. For that vibration coming from an infant is the essence of all creation. And the feeling that a mother feels when she looks upon that newborn baby that she's carried inside of her womb for 9 months. Well, that frequency is the frequency that we are. That is the one source frequency. That is what you are inside of you, is that feeling that that mother has towards that newborn. And that power is the same, understanding that you are that frequency. Brings that same creation power to a whole new evolutionary growth, because we're all spiritual babies here in this physical manifest of reality. We're all here learning and remembering together as multiple expressions, growing. That's why there is no heaven or hell. There is no end to all of this. We were all from the one. It was multiplied in trillions upon trillions, infinite possibilities, expressions of itself, and then it will all return back to it and then expand in a moment into all of existence again, because that is the non-judgmental essence of creation. You are the one, so you can't judge yourself. So that's why there is no sin or hell or heaven. If there is a heaven or a hell, it's the here and now in your state of mind. When you're wrapped up into this movie, intertwined with your ego, which is your identification to your body and your name. That's your ego. Your survival instinct is attached to that to keep that meat suit alive. Your survival instinct is to live here for the experience and to not die from lack of knowledge, so that is instilled into the vessel as part of the learning. But now we've all been here in multiple expressions many times for the here and now, for the prophecy, for us to shed that survival mechanism that was in the learning part of this game, for that lower conscious time of learning where you have been the puppet masters and the puppets. For all those learning experiences was for you to understand the duality and the denseness of the vibration, for that is the start of the lessons. No one learns from being comfortable, for you'd never seek knowledge inside of yourself if something just wasn't right, something didn't click that you were taught that made sense about what reality really was, or maybe you experienced psychedelics and you seen reality really wasn't what you thought it was. But in essence, the reason why everyone is coming to this point here and now is because it is time for that evolution, for us to take this step into this ancient knowledge of unity and oneness, for it is a paradox. But the paradox is irrelevant, for you just need to know that all is one and everything you come in contact is an expression of yourself. So don't treat your neighbors the way you want to be treated. Treat yourself the way you want to be treated. For the only thing you really need to know about the whole oneness paradox is that you're connected to everything. And so all the expressions before now is for you to remember that, so that you can usher in all the prophecy predictions of the new age, the second coming of Christ, aka the second coming of conscious beings being consciously aware. For the first step in the growth in the game to where you speak life is to be conscious of every thought that comes into your mind, consciously aware of the thought coming in and how it feels in your body, how it resonates with your frequency, and learning to let the ones go that don't vibrate to the frequency you would like to obtain. For that is the beginning steps after remembering who you are and to mastering the game of speaking life. For once you become the watcher of your thoughts, you're becoming one with the source. For the universe is the watcher is the source. So whenever you step outside of the movie, step outside of the duality as the watcher of your avatar, why you are that source. And once you learn the dimensionality of who you are, and that you are that source, why you can traverse the universe or astral project, out-of-body experience, see sounds, vibrations, anything that you wish, as you learn to master your vessel For you're not your body. Your body is just a vehicle, like a car that you drive to work. There's not an end game to this whole journey, for if all creation is compassionate vibration to create, well, that's what you're here to do. Find your passion, and I guarantee you it will require creating something. Poems, movies, music, art. For if your thoughts are creation, whatever your passion is a creation mechanism. So there's no end game. Why, the game only starts to become fun when you remember you are master creator, and you take your life back in this duality reality, and you gain freedom and salvation. When you don't let the material realm affect you, you become an effect on this material realm. Well, doing that is just the beginning. For you have never seen life until you've reached that complete release of self. So, if you find that passion inside of you, whatever it is, you may need to do some soul searching, some cleaning, some belief systems and thoughts and things before you can find your passion. But if you find that passion and obtain that true freedom and create with that, well, that is the beginning of heaven on earth. That is the beginning of the golden age. For the here and now is the prophecy for you to remember who you are, while what's in store is beyond the human mind to perceive. Because as humans, we're still trapped in the humanism of the mind, into the game of the physical senses. For you have more than the physical senses. Clairvoyancy, hearing and seeing other things, and all these other seeing things, hearing things, feeling things without your physical senses, or more senses that you actually have. You probably have like, 9 or 10 senses in essence. So remembering that you are that in the prophecy of the here and the now, and taking that compassion, that passion inside of you for whatever you would like to do with your life and your time, your energy. Well, once you do that, that's the other ends of the prophecy of heaven on earth. The golden age. For the whole oneness thing is for us all to realize that we're all connected. For you've been taught everything is outside of you and not inside. No one ever told you that everything you see is a duplication of you. You've been told to separate yourself with imaginary lines in the ground. Separate yourself with religious beliefs. Separate yourself with political beliefs, sports teams, ideas of how to dress, people you hang out with, race. For everything has been force-fed you outside of you. For most people have no clue who they are, never ask the question, who am I? And if they did, there more than likely wasn't no one around to send them on the right path. And that's the insight, to ask that and find it inside of yourself. For anything I ever say is not for you to play the same game over again and believe what I tell you, because that's what everyone does. Someone told them when they believed it. They didn't think for themselves or see if it resonated. Someone told you to get a job, get a house, have a wife, have a kid, pay your taxes, die. Repeat after me. I'm free. So now people are remembering that something's not right here, something's amiss. For you being God is the only reason why man asked the question of who are we, where we come from, why the question was ever asked. Because you are it, trying to remember that you are it. It's encoded in your subconscious mind. So now you and the reflections of yourself are starting to remember that. And things are starting to change. All for the good. Remember your thoughts. Manipulate the hologram. So pay attention to what you're feeding your mind. Don't be scared of anything you see. Try to stay away from TV. But if you do see things, don't let that fear frequency infiltrate you, because that's part of the control mechanism to have you manipulate the hologram into the current state that it is. So you have to keep that fear frequency away. And realize that the way light wins over darkness is things become transparent. Things become known that weren't known before. Well, I can tell you all the bullshit you see in modern news and stuff has been going on forever. There's been a one world government for thousands of years. The same control mechanism has been in control forever. All the Bible prophecies in Revelation, even if you wanted to put it to literal events, have already come to pass, just like the second coming of Christ has already come to pass. Sorry for all you Christian people that a man didn't come from the sky and save you. Well, that was just some man trying to fool you that somebody was going to come and save you from the hell he created for you. For heaven and hell and demons and angels is it's just you as the master that you are, not owning up to your own thoughts and actions. You like to have an scapegoat for your consciousness. It's easier to think the devil made me do it, or a demon done this, or whatever flavor of the game you like to play. Well, in essence, you're responsible for it all. You're responsible for every thought and action. And you have to go to sleep with that at night. No one's going to come and save you from your thoughts and your actions of your past. For you have to forgive yourself. Because you are the one that you were waiting for. You are your savior. You are your shaman. You are your healer. You are it. You are everything. You are the source. So welcome to the time of beautiful prophecies, where they have all come to pass. There is no future in store, but for the beautiful one that you want to create. No one here to tell you what's coming, because it has already come to pass. So quit playing the old game. Pop in an upgrade to the game of Speak Life. And this update comes with the remembrance that you are the one. And then watch how fun this game turns now. So, I guess we will see if we got any questions or comments on the Facebook. I thank everyone for joining me live tonight, and I thank everyone who listens to the audio or the YouTube or the video, whatever way you tune in to higher frequencies. I thank you all, and I love every single one of you. Every expression that I come in contact, I try to have that full love, compassion frequency, and I try to express that here on the platform of higher frequencies. Hi, welcome to the show, Jackie. Thanks for joining, Sandy. Sorry guys, I hadn't been on a while. We changed the format to every other Thursday. I didn't do one the Thursday before last. I don't force these things. So if an idea and a name comes to me, then I do one. If I'm not feeling it, I don't force it. So I just come with whatever resonates when it's time. But on Thursdays. But the typical time is shooting every other Thursday at 8:30. This episode is late, but it happens. They're kind of long, so in essence it's made for the audio, so you can tune in whenever on Google Play or iTunes or off the website, or you can watch the video and audios on Facebook and YouTube. iTunes and Google Play only has the last 10 episodes, but the website's higherfrequencies5d.com has all the episodes, videos, and audio recordings. This is the 26th episode of this year. So, the next Thursday is not even this year. And so this possibly could be the last time I come to you in 2018. But I think I may be back before, just for some odd reason, to leave another episode maybe to cap the year off with. Once this one sums it up pretty damn well. So, if you finish the year with this realization, and this is just the beginning, well, holy shit. What's tomorrow gonna bring? What's 2019 gonna bring? What's your beautiful reality gonna look like in 2029? 2039? Ooh, wow. You're not done yet. Well, you're just getting started. I love you guys. I'm glad you joined me. From the bottom of my heart, I love you all. Come back and see us next time. Peace and love. Namaste.